So I have a question this morning. Why are we always blaming some of these British people? Why are we always blaming some of all these foreign countries for looting Africans? Why are we always kind of bringing in narrative that's how UK looted Nigeria, how foreign countries looted Africans? Why are we always saying all these statements? Based on what's happened in the history of slave trade. I guess we all know that we Africans are the ones that sold ourselves into slavery. No one forced us. It is out of our greediness and out of our selfishness, self-centeredness. That's how we sold ourselves into slavery. No one forced us. So let us stop all this short narration of all this popular narrative everyone has been having and grudges against some of all these European and foreign continents. Why are we always kind of having bad mouth? Some people are always saying how British came and enslaved Africans, how this and that. But these people didn't force anyone. Like, we in Nigeria, we Africans, we are the ones that sold ourselves into slavery. Africans sold themselves into slavery. Don't you know that? Africans sold themselves into slavery. Till today, Africans are still selling themselves into slavery. Why are we always kind of blaming people? Blaming every time, all time you keep on blaming UK for Africans being poor, for Nigerians being poor. Meanwhile, we as Africans, we as Nigerians don't really love ourselves. We don't really love ourselves. Do we? We don't. Do you love your brother? You don't. Imagine slavery, doing slavery. We Africans, our greedy grandfathers, them sold their brothers into slavery for a token of not even money, because then those slaves weren't exchanged with any money. They were exchanged with items. So we are exchanged with cup. So we are exchanged with snap. You know what is snap? In my dialect, we call it kai kai. Those hot drink that if you drink it, it will get into your brain and you start misbehaving. That's the kind of, not even the liquid itself, but the bottle of the liquid. That is the bottle of the snap. That's one of the items that we are used in the exchange of slaves. Then, our forefathers were exchanging their brothers with those items. Now we all grew up, starts having a hatred that Africans we are looted by this American. I'm not saying this to favor foreigners or to favor Africans. No. I'm not saying it based on what is still happening in our current society, based on what is still happening in Africa. You can see, despite what happened in the past, still Africans are still looting Africans. Africans are still enslaving Africans. Our leaders doesn't care about those things. Our leaders doesn't care what Africans are losing. They doesn't care about what their countries are losing. What they care is loot. They are even looting themselves. We Africans, we will loot our own self. Now take it to foreign lands. Start making investment there. Then how do you start tomorrow? You start blaming some of all these foreign countries for enslaving you. No one enslaved us. Even if they did, no one is still enslaving us today. But rather, we Africans, we are not the one enslaving ourselves. What is really happening in Africa? What is really happening in Africa? Why are we always kind of having this mentality, this hatred towards our brothers and sisters? What is, like, who do this to us? Who do this to us? In a country, you have a president or a leader that's meant to do something rightful thing for the benefit of the whole country, for the benefit of the citizens. Rather, they will loot the little resources your country have. They will loot it to the foreign land. And tomorrow, you still come out and call us, say British people do you this, British people do you that. Are they saying the one ruling us? I guess we gained our independence in 1996. Sorry, 1960. That's when Nigeria gained their independence. I don't know for other African countries. But Nigeria gained their independence in 1960, 1st October 1960. How many years today? This is 2023. That's about 60-something years today. And still, Africans are still poor. Nigeria are still poor. Then why are you then complaining or blaming UK? Blaming some of foreign countries, Western world? Why are you always blaming them for the way Nigerians is, the way African is now? Whatever those people have looted is in the past. We still have enough resources to make this country better. We still have enough resources to make Africans better. Don't you think so? Africans are naturally blessed. Africa is a blessed continent. And that is why these foreign countries envy us, to the extent of coming to Africa to take whatever they take. Which I don't blame them, because it is because of our greedy forefathers allowed them. That is the reason why they got the privilege to do whatever they did in the past. But today, they are no longer here. But we are now the one enslaving ourselves. We are now the one causing pain for our brothers and sisters right here in Africa. What is happening in Africa? What is happening in Africa? Look at in your country. How many hospitals do you have in your country? But a country like your president will get sick like this. He will prefer flying to UK to get treated. Why can't he replicate that pattern of hospital in the UK here, right here in Africa or in their country? Why? So can we still blame UK for that? Can we still blame British for? Can we still blame America for that? Can we still blame foreign world for that? Can we? What is really happening in Africa? And they will say we are united. How do you think Africans are united when there are so many boundaries that separate us as a country, as countries? How do you think we are united? You come out and be saying Africans are united, Africans are this, Africans are that. I'm not supporting anyone, but the ill treatment we Africans are doing to ourselves and our brothers is even enough to ignore whatever the Western world did to us in the past. Why are we always why are we always selfish? You have enough. Your brother is by the side suffering. You don't want to give. Instead, you will take it to another land where you can go and squander it. Do you find it hard or difficult to understand that most of the investments, like, let me not just say, but some investment in UK and some of all these European countries are made by Africans? But a lot of those people will come back to Nigeria to do those things, or come back to their African countries to do those things. Africans, we are the ones enslaving ourselves. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming UK. Stop blaming any country. Stop blaming any Western world. Let us try to know how to make Africa better for everyone. No one is our problem. Africans still have enough resources to do what to transform this great continent. We still have enough capacity and natural resources. Don't you see how Western countries, even Nigeria, don't you see how Western countries, Western world, even Africans? Don't you see so? Because of how blessed this country are, because of how blessed this continent are, yet we ignore those. We have minerals. Should we start? We have everything. No matter whatever the Western world looted in the past, those things are still existing in Africa. They are still enough. They are still numerous. They are still plenty. There are so many of them. But yet, we ourselves, we are not the ones enslaving ourselves. We are not the ones still causing pain to our brothers. We are not the ones still carrying whatever little resources we have that's meant we can use to better the benefit of everyone. every citizen, we will still use that same resources, go to foreign work and start making establishment and start making investment there. And tomorrow we will say Africans are united. Africans are not united. Simple. Thank you.